If there is one story in pop music that perfectly captures talent, mystery, pressure, and global impact, it is the story behind Michael Jackson and the creation of the iconic hit Billie Jean. This is not just a song story, it is a journey into fame, obsession, artistic perfection, and how one track helped reshape modern music culture forever. When people talk about defining moments in pop history, this song almost always comes up because it didn't just top charts. It changed how music was performed, promoted, and even visualized. Long before the world called him the king of pop, Michael was simply a gifted child growing up in Gary, Indiana, performing with his brothers in the Jackson 5. Their early success introduced him to fame at a very young age, and while that experience sharpened his stage skills, it also exposed him to intense pressure, scrutiny, and the strange side of celebrity culture. By the time he entered adulthood, Michael wasn't just a singer. He was a perfectionist determined to push musical boundaries and create sounds nobody had heard before. That determination led him to collaborate closely with legendary producer Quincy Jones, a partnership that would become one of the most successful artist-producer relationships in music history. Quincy understood Michael's creative instincts, but also knew how to shape raw ideas into timeless records. Their work together blended pop, funk, R&B, rock, and soul in ways that appealed to audiences across races, cultures, and generations. Before superstardom fully exploded, Michael had already proven himself as a solo act under Motown, where he learned discipline, stagecraft, and studio professionalism. But he wanted more artistic control than the label typically allowed. That desire to grow creatively eventually pushed him toward a new phase where his vision could fully flourish, setting the stage for one of the biggest musical eras the world has ever witnessed. When recording began for the album Thriller, nobody could have predicted just how massive it would become. Michael was deeply involved in every detail: songwriting, vocal arrangements, instrumentation, mixing, choreography ideas, even visual concepts. He reportedly listened obsessively to playback tapes, refining tiny elements most listeners would never consciously notice. That level of dedication explains why the final product sounded so polished and emotionally compelling. The inspiration behind Billie Jean itself came from real experiences with obsessive fans and false accusations that often followed fame. Michael once described receiving letters claiming he was the father of someone's child, stories that created anxiety and sometimes fear. Instead of ignoring those experiences, he transformed them into art. The song became a narrative about paranoia, public image, and the blurred line between reality and rumor, themes that would follow him throughout his life. Musically, the track was revolutionary for its minimal yet powerful arrangement. The bass line became instantly recognizable, steady and hypnotic, pulling listeners in within seconds. Quincy initially worried the intro was too long, but Michael insisted it remain untouched because he believed the groove itself would hook audiences. History proved him right. Today, that opening bass line is considered one of the most famous in pop music. Vocally, Michael delivered a performance filled with controlled tension. Instead of overpowering the song with loud singing, he used restraint, breathy phrasing, subtle emotional inflections, and rhythmic precision. That vocal style created intimacy, making listeners feel as if he was telling them a personal secret rather than performing a commercial pop hit. This emotional nuance became one of his trademarks. When the song was released, its impact wasn't immediate everywhere. Some radio stations hesitated because its style crossed traditional genre boundaries. But once audiences connected with it, momentum built rapidly. Clubs, radio, television, and live performances amplified its reach, transforming it from just another single into a cultural phenomenon. A major turning point came when the song's performance helped break racial barriers on MTV, which at the time had limited exposure for Black artists. The success of Billie Jean, along with its groundbreaking visual presentation, helped open doors for many artists who followed. This wasn't just entertainment, it was a shift in media representation. One unforgettable moment happened during a televised performance where Michael introduced a dance move that would later become legendary. The smooth backward glide stunned viewers worldwide and demonstrated how performance could elevate music beyond sound into visual storytelling. That single performance remains one of the most replayed moments in pop culture history. Beyond commercial success, the song influenced production standards. producers began paying closer attention to groove, sonic clarity, and storytelling. Artists realized that a strong visual identity combined with memorable choreography could dramatically extend a song's lifespan. Music videos stopped being promotional extras and became central artistic expressions. Fans connected deeply with the narrative as well. The theme of being misunderstood, falsely accused, or overwhelmed by public perception resonated widely. Many listeners interpreted the song differently. Some saw it as a cautionary tale about fame, others as a metaphor for temptation, and some simply loved the rhythm and mystery. That openness of interpretation helped maintain its longevity. Critics often note that the song represents the perfect balance between accessibility and sophistication. Casual listeners enjoy the beat, while musicians admire its structure, mixing, and emotional layering. That dual appeal explains why it continues to attract new generations decades after its release. The cultural ripple effects extended into fashion as well. Michael's style during that era, the jackets, shoes, stage presence, and confident minimalism, influenced global youth culture. Artists across continents adopted similar performance aesthetics, proving that music influence rarely stays confined to sound alone. Commercially, the success contributed heavily to making Thriller the best-selling album in history. That achievement redefined what was commercially possible for a pop album. Record companies began investing more heavily in artist branding, video production, and global marketing campaigns, strategies still common today. Yet behind the triumph was a complex personal reality. Massive fame brought intense scrutiny. Every move, appearance, and statement became global news. The very themes expressed in Billie Jean, fame, suspicion, pressure, increasingly mirrored Michael's own life. This paradox added another layer of fascination to the song's legacy. Despite challenges, his influence on future artists remained enormous. Pop, R&B, Afrobeats, hip-hop, and dance performers often cite him as a foundational inspiration. Stage choreography, vocal styling, music video storytelling, and cross-genre experimentation all bear traces of his impact. Today, decades later, Billie Jean still fills dance floors, radio rotations, streaming playlists, and documentary retrospectives. Its continued relevance proves that truly great music transcends era, language, and geography. Whether someone hears it for the first time or the 100th, the groove feels fresh. For upcoming creators, including music storytellers like you, working on nostalgic lyric content, the lesson is clear. Authentic emotion, meticulous craftsmanship, and bold artistic vision tend to outlast trends. Viral moments fade, but songs built on genuine creativity often become timeless. Ultimately, the story of Michael Jackson and Billie Jean is about transformation, transforming personal stress into art, transforming musical conventions into new standards, and transforming global entertainment culture in ways still visible today. It reminds us that behind every legendary track lies human vulnerability, relentless discipline, and the courage to push beyond what already exists. And that is why this song remains more than a hit. It stands as a defining chapter in the history of modern music. If you find today's video helpful and informative, please kindly hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching.